So NFL adds a 17th game, and you and I, I grew up a baseball fan. You love the NBA, but I've always looked at the NFL as they really have. It's like part real estate company, part television show. They just keep stealing months and weeks from everybody and moving free agency and adding a Thursday game, and then here Amazon will just give you a little taste. And I look at the 17th game, and I'm like, well, I'll talk about football for another 7 days. That's probably good. How do you view it?
Listen, I think for the fans, it's a great addition. And you mentioned the NFL keeps stealing days. I debuted this idea 5 years ago on your show when I was filling in for you once. But now that they've officially added the 17th game, I want to bring it back because I think there's a way for them to steal even more real estate. The 17th game should be for all teams, an international game, and there should be an international week. So you have 8 home, 8 road, 1 neutral site game, and those games are played Monday through Sunday, 2 or 3 games a day, and depending on the time zone, because if you have a game in Beijing, you would start around, well, I don't know what time it would start here, maybe 11 a.m. on the West Coast, whatever it is. You would have football all day, Monday through Sunday. You would add an extra bye week either before the game or after the game, depending on where it fell in the week. You could have a game in Cape Town, you could have a game in New Delhi, you could have a game in London, and you would, for the NFL, would have games in prime time on in America for 7 straight days, and it would fix the little problem of, wait, I have 9 home games or 9 road games because of the uneven schedule. That's the next move. That's free advice to Commissioner Goodell and the folks on Park Avenue. Please pass it along to them, Colin, the next time you have coffee with them.
Yeah, so pro days, I think they're largely nonsense. I said a pro day is all about comfort. The NFL is all about discomfort. If you can't roll right and throw left at a pro day, it's over. That's the baseline. It's like hitting a curve for a major league pitcher. What do you make of our obsession with pro days?
Well, listen, I get it. We love football and we like to watch these guys. And I do think there are people that are diehard NFL fans that don't super closely follow college football. So this is their chance to be introduced to these guys. What I don't love, and this is kind of part of the pro days and just part of the draft process, is the drastic changes in some of these draft boards or draft, top 50s after the games are done being played. All year long, I thought everyone agreed Justin Fields, at worst, is the 3rd best quarterback in his draft class. And all year long, I didn't hear anyone say Mac Jones was even a guaranteed first rounder, much less a top 5 pick. And now since the games have stopped being played, it feels like Justin Fields has done terribly and Mac Jones has done wonderfully. I read a draft profile of Mac Jones that was written in November that said he might go back to school. If he doesn't, he's a likely 2nd round pick. Now I'm supposed to believe he could go 3 to the Niners. I think pro days have something to do with that. I'm not a huge fan of how much things change after the season's actually over, but pro days are fine. It's just something to watch during the day, so I got no big issue with it.
I said, generally the way the CBA works in the NBA, no matter how good you are, you sign that second contract with your crappy team that drafted you in the top 2 or 3. You just make more money.
Yeah.
I said, but Zion's different. Zion has an injury history, and he's aware of it. He may view himself as a 10-year player, not a LeBron, not a 20-year player. Secondly, he made so much money in his shoe deal that he doesn't necessarily need the Pelicans' money. And that if you ask LeBron privately, he would tell you those first 7 years in Cleveland, after about year 3 and 4, I couldn't get help. I may have wanted to leave then. And I look at Zion and I think to myself, got the money, got the fame, it's a football town. Am I nuts to think he wouldn't sign that second CBA contract and would move quickly into championship-level teams?
Listen, somebody's going to do what you are describing. We have never had, so the audience understands, after your rookie contract, you're in restricted free agency. We have never had a player at the end of their rookie deal turn down the extension if the team offers them the full max, the most they possibly can. Because to turn it down, you then get a 1-year qualifying offer. You cost yourself literally over $100 million as far as guaranteed money if something happens to you. I do think at some point someone will do that. There was some thought Ben Simmons might do that with Philadelphia if things weren't working out there. Where I'm going to push back a bit is I'm not sure New Orleans is going to be poorly run. I like their GM David Griffin a lot. I also like the fact that they don't appear to be making the mistake they made with Anthony Davis, which is, oh my God, he's so good, so young. Let's try to mortgage some of the future to get mediocre. I like they traded Drew Holiday. They got draft assets. They obviously got assets in the Anthony Davis trade and Brandon Ingram. We'll see what they do with Ball. So I'm going to hold out hope that New Orleans is going to be well enough run that this does not come to pass. What New Orleans needs to worry about in the short term is Stan Van Gundy and ownership and management and Brandon Ingram all need to get in a room together and understand, Brandon, you are going to be an excellent second option.
Yeah.
You are not the best player on this team, and at the end of games, you need to recognize it, and Stan Van Gundy needs to recognize it and coach accordingly, and they need to give the keys totally to Zion. He's already a top 15 player in the league. He's edging into that top 12, which is really, hollowed air, or what's the word? Whatever. It's really hallowed, high air.
Yeah.
For a player in his second year. Thank you, hallowed. And it's going to be hard to screw it up. But I agree. If they end up making terrible moves, he's not going to need the financial security that other guys would to where he's going to make a bad decision for his career for the money.
By the way, Andre Drummond's a multiple-time All-Star. He's 27 years old. When he signed, all I heard was, oh, Kyle Lowry's available. And I thought to myself, actually, Andre Drummond's a great fit for the Lakers, short-term. There's a Tristan Thompson feel where I wouldn't want to give him a huge contract because he can't hit jumpers. But your thought on what he does to the Lakers, LeBron, AD, and the team going forward?
Yeah, listen, he does one thing at an exceptional level, that's rebound. And that's relevant to the Lakers in this regard. They are the best defensive team in basketball. They were the best defensive team in basketball even without Anthony Davis. And I know it's cliche, but a possession doesn't end until you secure the rebound. So he will help their defense in that regard. Marc Gasol wasn't giving them what they had hoped to get out of him, and he'll be useful for them in the Western Conference playoffs. Now, when they make the finals, and when they're playing the Sixers and not the Nets, everyone's so scared of the Nets. When they're playing the Sixers in the finals, Drummond can't play in that series because Joel Embiid has eaten him for lunch in about 18 consecutive meetings between the two. But that's a tomorrow problem, not a today problem. You get a player like that for no money whatsoever at a position of need. That's useful. I'd certainly rather get Andre Drummond in the buyout market than trade an asset for Rajon Rondo like the other team in LA did, as they are still searching for a point guard. And I think last night just lost to the G League Orlando Magic team, but we don't have to talk about the Clippers because they're not that relevant.
You're right, by the way. They did. They blew a lead. All right, Nick Wright, great seeing you, buddy. Have it's my weekend starts in about 2 hours, so have a nice Thursday, Friday show.
Fancy.
Yeah, fancy. Very, very
You
fancy.
You enjoy your time off. Talk to you later, Colin. See you, Joy.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.